Black Lives Matter is a dumb name.
Because it's... All right, back with some more Tom MacDonald. Finally checking out Fake Woke. Let's get into it.
I think it's crazy I'm the one who they labeled as controversial, and Cardi B is the role model for 12-year-old girls. There's rappers pushing Xanax at the top of the billboard, but if I mention race in a song, I'm scared I'll get killed for it. It's backwards, it's getting exponentially dumb. It's more difficult to get a job than purchase a gun. Eminem used to gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. We're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it, cause you have the right to hate it and not get stoned to death in public. As children we were taught how to walk and talk, but the system wants adults to sit down and shut up.
Wow.
Okay, so these songs are very related. He has that same jumpsuit on.
Oh, he does.
Did you see the jumpsuit?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can get it back up.
Yeah, overalls.
Oh, you can't really see it that much.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I saw it. But yeah, he does.
He's talking about being ashamed to be American. And then in Snowflakes, it graduates to we're ashamed of you.
Yeah.
Like they're ashamed of America, but we're ashamed of you too. You know what I mean?
Wow, so these tie in.
So they do kind of tie in. Snowflakes, I guess, is the sequel, and we watch them out of order. You know?
Yeah, when did this come out?
I don't know. I was wondering. Here, let me pull it up.
Because honestly, it seems like, okay, so
it's
earlier
not
this year.
old. January 20. So this was after WAP, right?
Yep.
Because wasn't WAP the song of the year last year? I was wondering if it was before or after WAP. I mean, Cardi B was no role model before WAP. But if it was before WAP, I was like, oh, dang, he had no clue what was coming.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's so true, though. Like, that's role model for 12-year-old girls, and Netflix puts out cuties and stuff, and it's like we got all these, like, crazy things going on, you know? And then it's like we're focusing on such little BS, but people think it's normal.
Right.
Totally fine.
And then you got rappers like Eminem coming out like, if you mess with Trump, then I don't want you to listen to my music. You know what I mean? It's just like...
And it's just like weird. That, to me, that situation is just like the NBA where it's like, oh, but I like your music. Like, I just started getting into Eminem's music. And I'm like, oh, this is unfortunate.
Right, because you know where it's going.
I know it's going. It's like, why do you have to, like, why don't you just love everybody and, like, be epic at music?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we have to polarize? But that is what the leaders are doing. It's like trying to, like, polarize everyone.
But that's why some people say Eminem was cloned.
Okay.
Because like he wasn't trying to divide America into two sides back in the day, but now to be like, well, if you think this way or you support this politician, then we need to separate. We need to be very polar on opposite sides. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird.
That's very incongruent.
Right.
I will say that. You
would think like, oh, if you vote for someone that I don't agree with, keep listening to my music and maybe you'll be influenced to think better if you think your thoughts are better than someone.
Right. That's the thing.
You know what I mean? But why does everyone want to separate? You should want to mingle more to try and rub off on people.
That's what I was thinking about in 2020. It's like, if you really, really, really love me, though, then why wouldn't you, like, and you really believe you're right, why wouldn't you just pursue that for till the death to try to save me?
Right.
Why would you just give up and block me?
Right.
Like, did you ever even like me then?
Makes no sense.
Gay bash and murder his mom, and now he doesn't want fans if they voted for Trump. We're ashamed to be American. You should probably love it, cause you have the right to hate it and not get stoned to death in public. As children we were taught how to walk and talk, but the system wants adults to sit down and shut up. Cancel culture runs the world now, the planet went crazy. Label everything we say as homophobic or racist. If you're white, then you're privileged, guilty by association. All our childhood heroes got Me Too'd or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need to change.
Hold up.
Ooh.
Hold up. We gotta pause.
Wait a minute.
We gotta pause it.
Hold up.
Everyone's homophobic or racist.
Yeah.
I mean, you can add a bunch of labels onto that too.
Yeah.
What are the other ones? Bigot, white supremacist, Nazi. You know what I mean? Like, if you disagree with me, labels.
And if you're not white, then but you don't believe in the woke culture, then you're a reverse supremacist.
Right? It's like they completely just ruin the meaning of so many words.
Yeah.
Because now basically all these words mean is I don't agree with you.
What if this is like the start of them trying to change the meanings of words, though, to where people literally can no longer communicate?
I mean, I definitely think that's happening. I just don't think it's the start.
What if it's like this sort of, true.
I feel like we're well into it. You know, but I mean, I think it can go further to where it is hard to communicate.
It's like burning the books, but like the mental, it's like, you know what I mean? Oh, it really is it's really like changing the word in the dictionary. So like, because there are quotes, guys, literally that we used to look up like 3-4 years ago that we can't find in Google anymore.
Yeah, because they are not woke quotes from like prominent figures. I don't even want to say them because now I'm doubting my own memory. So I need to find them. Maybe I need to look on DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, like it's kind of like Mandela effect, but like across the board, there's different stuff just disappearing and being rewritten and all kinds of craziness.
Childhood heroes got me too, or they're rapists. They never freed the slaves. They realized that they don't need to change. They gave us tiny screens. We think we free because we can't see the cage. They knew that race war would be the game they need to play. For people to big teams, they use the media to feed the flame.
Facts.
They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings. I think it's crazy.
So that whole part about the race war is what they needed to divide us, and then the media feeds the flames.
Yeah.
I feel like that is 100%.
The sad truth.
100% what is happening right now. And especially every 4 years it gets ramped up.
Yeah, ramped up. Like, honestly, I'm so sick of it, though, because it's, like, such a contradiction. Like, people will literally, they'll subscribe to this whole woke narrative, as soon as they get some money, where do they move? You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to live in the hood. Like, it's not safe.
Right.
Not rocket science.
But that's what I was telling some people I was having conversations with on social media. It's like, oh, you're all rah-rah, BLM, woo-woo, wop. Where do you live? Well, I mean, you don't have to unite geographically. It's like, I can still support and live in this neighborhood. Like,
I support what they're doing over there.
Right?
Kill each other, just don't kill me.
It's ridiculous.
Or like, oh, I'm rah communist and all this stuff. Meanwhile, you get a house passed down in like the nicest, richest area of the town.
Right.
You get like a brand new car. You know what I mean? But, oh, you want you want to share that? You want to split it up between everyone on the street?
I mean, now people think the American flag is a symbol of terror. And not just people, Americans think that.
And I remember growing up and, like, it was just, like, a given. Like, you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and, like, if you
Put your
burn...
hand over your heart.
Yeah, and, like, people burn flags. It's, like, that's a huge... I don't know if it's a crime, but it was a huge big deal. Like, you just don't do that. And now kids are growing up like, I don't feel like getting up today. Your freedom wasn't free.
Right?
Like, the reason why you cannot...
We used to take our hats off and everything, you know? It's like you had respect for that.
Like, right. It's like, but they're not making the connection that, like, this could be your dad going off and dying, and you never see him again for the sake of you being able to sit there and play on your phone.
Right.
You know? So, like, I feel like they don't connect it.
Fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings. I think it's crazy how these people screaming facts, but they fake woke. Hate their neighbor cause he wears a mask or he stays home. Has a daughter, but his favorite artist said he slays hoes. Picks her up from school, music slaps on the way home. Censorship's an issue cause they choose what they erase. There's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate. I think Black Lives Matter was the stupidest name when the system's screwing everyone exactly the same. I just want to spend Thanksgiving.
Hold on. I mean, just gotta keep pausing.
Gotta keep pausing. It's another bar heavy.
We have the artists degrading women, the BLM, and what else? It's always so many topics. I usually forget one, but I want to hit them all.
Black Lives Matter is the stupidest name.
It is, because that is not about Black lives at all.
It's not.
About
and if you're black but you don't agree with the politicians at hand, then your life doesn't matter.
Right.
And then also, black lives don't, I mean, of course they matter to black people, but it's like that's a within culture thing that's a problem in itself that could be addressed. All that money could go into, like, you know, poor neighborhoods, adding facilities that kids can go to after school that are safe. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't need to go to politicians.
Right. But I feel like it's just a movement to gain political power and to destroy America.
Yeah.
You're burning down the country, getting all this money, not helping the families you say that you're raising the money for, all this kind of stuff.
And you're miseducating people. You're literally telling them fear the police because they're killing you disproportionately. You're telling them, like, don't fear your neighbor who actually is, like, more likely to kill you. Like, in, you know what I mean?
Right, and there's nothing scarier than a person who is scared, or like animals. I'd rather be around animals that were not scared than animals that were scared.
That's so true.
Scared animals attack. Not calling people animals, but we are mammals, so I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah,
but
that's so true.
If you have a bunch of people who are afraid of the police, that's going to be a more dangerous interaction than a person who's calm and not afraid of the police.
Right. And
you
then,
know what I mean?
Right. And then it goes from, police being, you know, just police to, like, police, if they're scared of a confrontation with a certain demographic, well, I mean, it keeps popping up. Right. And, like, you can't really win in that situation because if you defend yourself or kill them or anything, you're going down. And if you don't protect the citizens and you don't do your job, you're going down, you know?
Right.
So it's literally creating a very toxic situation.
So when you're brainwashing people to be afraid of the police, you're just going to create more martyrs because they're going to resist and try and fight cops and all that, and boom. So then your movement gets to keep going and keep going and keep going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like that's what they want.
Yeah, that's so true. That's what they want, though. That's exactly what they want. And that's why Black Lives Matter is a dumb name. Because it's literally like, if you don't agree with it, then Black Lives don't matter. And
it's
like
racist.
That. Yeah, and it's like, you can't win. Like with these people, they've set it up to where only they can win.
But that goes back to what you were saying. They are genius marketers. They are really good at it.
They're really good at it.
And now we forgot the other topics.
Oh,
it always happens.
We need to run it back. Maybe like 15 seconds.
It always happens.
We need to run it back.
He slays hoes, picks her up from school, music slaps on the way home.
Okay, that one.
Yeah.
The daughters one. I know people like that who have daughters and they listen to music about that.
Literally. But I mean, it's weird because nowadays you get people who are like regular people with regular jobs, grew up in a regular neighborhood, but they're talking about shoot them up, kill them, slaying, girls and this.
Right.
And it's like they don't even live their life, but their mind is repeating that
message.
Never
did, it never will. But they're raising their kids with that kind of music. And their kids might actually live that life.
Right, because kids kind of just believe things.
Right, that's just normal to their kids.
It's just like that's what they know.
And the other thing talking about was the mask thing. I saw the other day a flight attendant got her teeth knocked out because she was... someone riding the plane, their mask was like under their nose, and she came like messing with them. I think she may have touched the girl, and she punched her, knocked her teeth out. All this stuff over masks is ridiculous. That's not the first incident I've seen where someone actually got like.
I mean, if somebody came up to you trying to like maneuver, I don't
think she touched the mask, but I think she touched the person. Like, I think she was being aggressive.
I mean, aggression will get you punched. So.
Right.
But I mean, that's
all
just...
over a mask. Like, you want to lose some teeth because someone's not wearing a mask?
And it's like they don't even like the dude said
on a plane.
Right. And a mask is like, if I have something, it might protect you if I cough or spit in your face.
And then like B. Tatum always says, like, if you can smell someone's fart through a mask, you can get the virus through it.
Right. They're not even
and so it's like on a plane, like, what do you think is going to happen?
Right. And then everyone knows if someone's sick on your flight, then you probably, like, there's a good chance you're going to get sick. Like, flights are just like that. Like, everything in that flight is everyone's.
Right.
So it's just like, why are you even flying then if you're, like, I don't even know. Why is she a flight attendant? She should have... switch careers or something.
Now these like I'm gonna go say something to you for not wearing a mask. People are just like out of their minds. Like, is it really worth the confrontation? You never know who you're talking to.
Censorship's an issue because they choose what they erase. There's a difference between hate speech and speech that you hate. I think Black Lives Matter was the stupidest name when the system's screwing everyone exactly the same. I just want to spend Thanksgiving Day with food and my family without being accused of celebrating native casualties. We got so divided it's black and white and political. Republicans are bigots, libtards if you're liberal. There's riots in our streets and it's just getting worse. Y'all screaming deep on the police, y'all are genius for sure. They're underfunded already, they're way too busy to work. Order food and call the cops, see what reaches you first. Segregation ended, that's a lie in itself. That was a strategy to make us think they were trying to help. They knew that racism was hot if they designed it to sell. We buy up every single box and divide us ourselves.
The whole segregation part, the hate speech versus speech that you hate. So many things. There's other stuff too. But that segregation thing, we self-segregate now into communities.
Yeah.
It's like, when I was growing up, I didn't hear anything about the black community or the Asian community or, all this stuff. And then everyone can have a community except white people. You can't say the white community. But everyone else gets a community to self-segregate. You're like encouraged to self-segregate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what does it mean to be a part of the black community other than that, like, my ancestry has a lot of African?
Right.
Other than that, like, what does that mean? Am I limited by that community? Can I only do things that you said that community does?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's super weird to me.
The messed up part is that, like, I don't even think black people came up with that.
Right.
Because, to be honest, like, when you're in black shoes, like, having a black experience, it's like, there's so many different kinds of African, you know what I mean? And then there's always the 25% European that it's like, basically, you're just black. Like, you're literally, it's like, whatever your family culture is, maybe 2 to 3 generations back, that's what you live. That's what you are. That's, like, you're like, that's your path. So it's weird when you have, like, the media telling you, like, all this and this, because it's not like that when you're living it.
Right, and it's not like that for them either. Like the Don Lemons and all those people, like,
yeah, that's true.
They don't have the same experience that I have, and I don't have the same experience as someone who really grew up in the trenches has. You know what I mean?
Right, Barack Obama, or like, it's totally different.
It's totally
different.
There's not just like a black experience. Like, we always talk about the black experience in America, and I think it's more about class than it is about race.
It is.
Like, my experience, like, people on our YouTube channel tell us all the time in the comments, oh, you grew up privileged. And we didn't. Oh, you grew up privileged. You don't know what it's like to be.
You're not real black people.
Right, you don't know what it's like to be black. So, like, what are you saying black is if growing up privileged, according to these people in the comments, means we're not black?
It's
like, that's
so
the most
weird.
racist thing you can say. You're saying black is basically like you have to grow up with nothing. And right. Like, that's what black is to people.
It's so weird.
But that's what the black community means. I had these arguments with people last year. It's like, the black community is like, oh, you don't know because you grew up here, so you don't know what it's like to be in the black community. I'm like, the black community to them literally means ghetto. So we're given this idea of the black community that we're supposed to self-segregate into.
Right.
So if I want it to be black, that means I need to get more ghetto.
basically.
But I mean, I don't care about the whole idea of communities, but if I did, that's what it's encouraging me to do.
But also, I mean, that is probably by design.
Right.
Because the more ghetto you get, the more into like, super hip hop culture, WAP, the more ghetto you get, the less you'll be able to think for yourself and be able to put things together that are not just like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's just how it tends to go, And it tends to just be like the more you're going to focus on buying a gold chain and having a nice car and like, you know what I mean? Not like liberating your mind.
Right.
So like he said though, about they realized segregation and plantations and stuff, like basically they just changed it from physical to psychological.
Right.
That's exactly what it is.
It's funny. I feel like we both have so much to say.
So much.
That when we have a little pause, we'll say something else when the other person doesn't start talking. You'll be like, I just made my point. But like he says, I can keep talking. Right. I feel like these reactions get so long, we end up cutting a bunch out.
Right, seriously. But the thing is, though,
we can talk on this all day.
We're like bubbling over with this because we have felt these things. We've observed them in our lives. And it's like barely any of our family or friends or anybody, we can like sit there and have a conversation with.
Right.
Because most people I know think just like that. Right. Like they just eat it up. And then it's like if you diverge at all from that like sort of narrative, then they just think, oh, you're a leper, you're crazy.
Right. You're
like,
Uncle Tom, you're a bootlicker.
You're a sellout. Like there's no good coming from
all
you.
This stuff.
Yeah, you're an idiot. Like you're literally one of my mom's friends messaged me on Facebook that your grandma, my grandma's dead, my mom's mom, she would be so disappointed and all that they fought for. And this is my mom's friend who doesn't even have kids. This lady had messaged me going off about some stuff. I'm like, you're gonna talk about my dead grandma, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna sit there like all disrespectful and like rude to her because I just in my core I just feel like I should respect elders, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, dang.
I feel like that is how they win the culture war. Like she said, your grandma would be so disappointed. They always use like emotional manipulation. And I mean, as humans, we're emotional creatures, so that works, especially on children and stuff. Yeah. Like they always take the emotional angle. It's never like the logical one.
And
it's like people with common sense usually take the logical angle, but like humans are more emotional than we are logical. Like we do dumb stuff all the time based on emotion. So I feel like that's why they win.
Yep. She literally went to my mom behind my back and was like gossiping about that conversation. So it's like literally they go to each other and they make a little net around you and cast you. You're the outcast now. You know what I mean? So we're like bubbling over talking about this stuff because it's like you never get to talk about it.
Was hot if they designed it to sell. We buy up every single box and divide us ourselves. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old safe zones. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings. We use violence to get peace and wonder why it isn't working. That's like sleeping with a football team to try and be a virgin. Politicians are for sale and someone always makes the purchase. But you and I cannot afford it. Our democracy is worthless. If a man has meant to...
Wait, hold up. He said using violence to get peace is like sleeping with the football team to try and be a virgin.
That's such a clever... He's so good at like... I don't know how he thinks like
that. That's the same. The way he puts things together, it's not like anyone else, even though there's other artists that, rap about similar things.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine Tom as a teenager though?
No.
Like he was probably the most smart mouth teenager.
Right.
Like he probably, he was not losing an argument.
Right.
He makes some points.
It's like a good analogy. It just stops people in their tracks.
Yeah, it does.
But then they'll just emotion all over you. But like I said, facts don't care about your feelings. But like I say, feelings don't care about your facts. So it's like you can't really just argue with facts.
Right.
Like you can't just fact these people.
You can't.
You know what I mean?
Because the brain development of like critical thinking and logic and stuff is truly like underdeveloped. Like I believe if you looked at it on like some kind of scan, there would be a difference.
You think so?
Because I know for a fact, like I came from a very like woke type household. Like my mom is woke, my brother's woke. Like that's what I came from. You know what I mean? My dad was very like into Malcolm X and all that. And so I feel like when we met, I had no logic. Like I literally couldn't do it. I literally could not click things logically.
Then how did you come out of that?
I respected you. And so whenever we'd have our debates and stuff, I would respect your perspective. And over time, I think I started to be like, well, I'm gonna take on. I like you get results and how people treat you. I'm gonna take on some more of. I'm gonna be like you. You know what I mean? And I started to like consider, just ponder.
So how can that recipe be duplicated?
They would have to like you. I think literally the woke people would have to really admire and like you and respect you.
Because if they're based on emotion, it's not like the facts aren't gonna just blow through the emotions.
No. Like, your brain doesn't work like that. Like, literally, your brain cannot put, like, it just isn't, it's formed emotionally. So it's like if somebody tells you something emotionally, like an argument emotionally, then, like, you're going to hear that, and you're going to feel for them, and you're going to think you're on the same page, and you're going to have rapport emotionally. It's no logic.
I definitely feel like that's where people lose the culture war. Like, people who think logically and common sense.
Yeah.
It's right there.
They shut down the feelings, but it's like they only have feelings. So you're essentially not communicating at that point. It's wild. But I just know for a fact, guys, I used to be super woke in the mind, like just how I thought of things. And it took basically respecting you. And just our...
And we both started off woke.
I was extremely woke. I grew up in musical theater.
Yeah, I wasn't that woke.
I was like basically, I was basically raised to be a theater, Hollywood type actress type. You know what I mean?
Like super woke.
Yeah, and my parents were not strict at all. You know, so I didn't have any rules really. You know what I mean? No discipline.
See, I was raised like in a household that actually had more conservative values, but they wanted to be woke. You know how that kind of thing is?
Yeah, like you guys were actually religious and we were like said religious. Right. Like you go to church and you like fall asleep, but like go for the look of it, but not,
Like you dress conservative, all these kind of things.
I did not have to dress conservative growing up. Yeah, so.
Someone always makes the purchase, but you and I cannot afford it. Our democracy is worthless. If a man has mental illness, call him crazy, say it silently. When country's going crazy, we accept it as society. Get sick and take a pill when the side effects get you high. You get addicted like these rappers dying, fighting with sobriety. Censoring the facts turns our children into idiots. They claim it's for our safety. I'll tell you what it really is. Removing information that empowers all the citizens. The truth doesn't damage points of view that are legitimate. They're trying to change amen to amen and women. How'd we let them make praying a microaggression? Instead of asking God for the strength to keep winning, we cheat to get ahead and then we ask him for forgiveness. Feminism used to...
Okay, the whole amen to a woman thing. Like,
that was weird.
It's like, okay, I'm usually pretty nice. You know what I mean? I try not to call people all these names. But like that is like the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It's okay, not the dumb, but it's up there. Like you gotta be pretty dumb to think like amen literally means like a male. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like what?
Right. It's like it's very, very like odd.
Right.
It's just like this is like, can you imagine in 2005 hearing that? Like the future is gonna be, politicians on a national level saying amen and a women.
Right.
Like it's just silliness.
And then the part about mental health, if men have mental health issues, I call them all this.
Right.
If the country's sick, then it's good. But men's mental health and women's mental health is dealt with differently too.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like men definitely get the short end of the stick when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And a lot of areas of society men do. That's why I don't get the whole feminism thing. But men definitely get shafted a lot. But like mental health issues with men is unacceptable. But if a woman is emotionally unhappy in a relationship, it's a free pass to cheat. Like she can go on a talk show and just be like, oh, I was unhappy in my relationship, which isn't even really a mental health issue. You're just unhappy. It's not like, maybe you're depressed or all these things. I don't know. And everyone's like, well, good for you, girl. Go get your happiness. You know what I mean? It's like,
that's so
men
true.
Get treated like crap.
That's so true. But also, feelings. Women are much better at feelings.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you consider feelings a sport.
It basically is. And women will give an emotional reason for it. And everyone's like, ooh, emotions. Oh, that's right. Go on, girl, with your bad self. Go cheat. You found happiness with someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But it's like the Casey Anthony thing. It's like, I was watching a deep dive into her the other day, and it's like she used feelings, basically. She used feelings.
That's how she got off.
To basically get off. You know what I mean? Because the case made no sense. But yeah. Yeah,
everyone's saying amen means so be it. Right. It doesn't mean a male. It's ridiculous.
And it's weird because it's men. So if it was going to be a men, it would be like a man, not a men.
Right.
If it was actually that anyway. So I don't know. I can't believe that was on TV. That's embarrassing. Like what the rest of the world's probably laughing at this stuff.
Definitely. But I mean, some of them are doing it worse than us.
True.
To amen and women, how'd we let them make praying a microaggression? Instead of asking God for the strength to keep winning, we cheat to get ahead and then we ask him for forgiveness. Feminism used to be the most righteous of fights, but these days it feels like they secretly hate guys. I don't trust anyone who beats for a week and don't die. Just kidding, but everything else that I said is right.
He said everything else I said is right. That's so true, though. That's so true,
Oh, my goodness. Bleeds for a weekend doesn't die.
No, but seriously. Oh my gosh, shout out Tom MacDonald in the chat. I'm late to the party. Much love, y'all. Thank you.
Appreciate that. That's crazy.
That's wild. Yeah, this is wild. Yeah, but so that last part, that I mean,
feminism teaching women to hate men.
That is so true. That's what I was talking about earlier. Like about how like literally it's like it's doing the reverse. It's literally like hating men so they don't open the doors for you, so they don't do the hard work. You get the hard jobs. You know what I mean? It's like all that stuff is literally removing femininity from like making being a woman like a less enjoyable experience.
Yeah, like and it's teaching women to hate women as well. Like women get shamed by other women for being feminine in modern day.
Facts, yeah.
Like I would say, if you cook for me, people shame you. He can cook for himself.
He can cook for himself. What's wrong with him? Are you his slave? Literally.
Right.
Literally, yeah. Bar heavy.
Fake woke. Facts don't care about feelings. They know they won't tell me what to believe in. They so fake woke. Same old, same songs. They so fake woke. Facts don't care about your feelings.
They kill me with that. I don't trust.
It's over. I hate it when it ends.
Right? I don't trust anybody that bleeds for a week. Everything I said. Remember that?
Right.
I was like, dang.
I'm joking, but everything I said before that's facts.
Low key, there's truth in every joke.
Right.
Like low key though, like Hillary for president. I don't think so. So okay, honestly, that compared to snowflakes, I mean, I feel like snowflakes is a progression of fake woke.
Right.
Like they're on the same like. These are important songs.
It's like the sequel.
Yep. It's like the same level in like the sequel.
Right. I think Snowflakes hit a little harder though.
It did because it was lit.
Right.
I feel like Fake Woke though had me diving into my mind and like assessing things. You know what I mean? Snowflakes had me like, dang, these contradictions are very sad.
It's like, it's hard to compare as they both are hitting on just social issues. And they're not that far apart, right? Just a few months apart. I guess almost half a year. But it's crazy how much stuff can change in half a year.
It's terrifying.
It's like in that half year, I've seen so many mask assaults kind of things.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you take politics out your life then? Because it seems like it bleeds into everything.
Yeah, but I guess don't get as emotionally invested.
I guess you talk about things, assess things, something like that without letting them affect you. Like don't go to sleep thinking about it.
Right. Less tribal. Because I mean, a lot of people, I feel like, you have to agree with everything that the political party you resonate with the most believes. If you disagree on anything, and this happens in both parties, they just basically want to oust you.
Right.
Now I get if it's like one of someone's core issues, like a moral issue kind of thing, that they would be like, oh, you're not really one of us. Whatever, I mean, I kind of get it. But it's a little over the top.
It is.
Like, what if I disagree with you on this issue, but I'm going to vote with you?
Right.
But I just disagree on an issue. So you still want to kick me out? Like, it's just it's super weird.
But that's what, remember he was talking about divide everybody into boxes?
Right.
And I feel like that is the most annoying part about all these labels is that like literally you'll find something you disagree with even in your closest relationships. So it's like, why put all these labels on it to make you even, you know what I mean? To make you uncomfortable in your own personal space. Like in a private text thread with your cousin, you should be able to feel comfortable.
Right.
Not like, let me not step on their toes and, you know?
Yes.
They have 50 toes. We appreciate you guys. Until next time, that's a wrap.
I don't know. Tell me, man, what do you know? What do you know? Me and my boys on the road. We to go. She told me, boy, you to go. Like, I don't know. But I don't know.